to RTN's share group on back of house innovation. For those of you that I have not yet had the pleasure to meet, I'm Abby Lorden, co-founder here at Restaurant Technology Network. The share group, we love this format. It's a really great format for providing our membership community with a place to dig in and learn a little bit about some of the hot new technology solutions that are coming into the space in certain sectors of the market. Some of these technologies are from companies that you may be familiar with, and some of them may be new to you. But this month's share group is on the topic of back of house innovation. Why back of house innovation? Well, I can answer that pretty clearly, that the focus on investment in innovation in back of house has really started to uptick over the course of the last, I would say, 18 months. We track restaurant prioritization through the research that we conduct at Hospitality Technology. And we always ask restaurants, hey, what are you focused on? What are your technology budgets going towards? What are your pain points, challenges, and so forth? So for 2025, restaurants said they had a few key goals for their technology spend. Number one was digital customer engagement. Number two was reducing cost, and managing that kitchen environment with really slick back office capabilities is certainly a key factor in that. And number three was around improving business analytics. We then said, tell us a little bit about any technology that you plan to change suppliers this year. Are there any technologies that you may actually be looking to switch to a new provider? And several areas, all in this space of back office, really rose to the surface. Inventory management, 25% of restaurants said they're looking for new inventory management tools. 22% said they're looking for new business analytics tools. 17% said they're looking at new kitchen display systems. This is a significant amount of interest and activity and change in the market. And so we at RTN said, let's put together a share group. Let's invite members, our technology members who are part of the back office tech stack, to come in and show the market what your solutions are, give them a little bit of context around why they might want to learn a little bit more about your solution, because that could help inform their sourcing as they look into the second half of 25 and roll forward. So we got a great presentation set lined up. We've got 7 really cool companies that are going to each get 5 minutes on the mic to share with you what their solutions are, and then we'll have plenty of time for Q&A as we get through the presentation. I am going to officially introduce my colleague and our editor-in-chief at Hospitality Technology, Robert Firpo-Cappiello, who will be the moderator for the share group today. Robert, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Abby. I'm psyched to be here. As Abby mentioned, I'm the editor-in-chief at Hospitality Technology and at Restaurant Technology Network. And as you all know, RTN as a member organization is a special place to come together and discuss these the kinds of things we're going to discuss today, trends we're seeing, hot technology solutions, and why they may be appropriate to certain kinds of back of house. And you know, I'm also the co-author of our annual restaurant technology study, which Abby quoted a few stats from just a minute ago. And honestly, when that list of restaurants planning to switch vendors came out as part of the study, I did get messages from some companies basically asking, why are they, do you know why they're switching? Do you know who they are? Do you know who they're switching from? And so, you know, the bell went off up here. This is a hot topic, and we need to be talking about this more. So, I'm going to now give the floor to seven great technology companies who are going to briefly share some wins and some thoughts. First, from Cox Business, I'm going to bring to the mic Mickey Barrera is National Account Manager at Cox Business, and Brad Goulart is Senior Manager of Sales Engineering. They're going to make a joint presentation. Mickey, take it away.
Thanks, Robert. I would tell you that, let's see, last month made 18 years for me at Cox Business. Very happy to be here. Good morning to some, I guess good afternoon to some others. At Cox Business, we deliver nationwide network cloud solutions, and it's mainly tailored for the quick serve restaurant casual dining space. We only have a few minutes, but today Brad will highlight kind of how we're solving smarter data storage, access and retrieval, that all support crucial decisions and scalable growth. And we'll take some questions after the end of the call if anybody's interested. And with that, I'll just hand it over to you, Brad.
Thank you, Mickey. And thank you to the team there at RTN for the opportunity. So as Mickey mentioned, we're working with the restaurant industry and a lot of folks and seeing a lot of the same concepts and ideas of, first of all, I mean, Mickey and I built our careers around technology, but it is moving at an insane pace at this point. And obviously, you hear some of what's being thrown out there from a numbers perspective of businesses looking to make changes, innovate, looking at different vendors. And that all speaks to a scramble to try and stay in front of a curve that's moving very quickly. And obviously, you all know your restaurant business challenges, but as the technology moves faster and faster, that innovation really moves, and your competition, which there's no greater field of competition than in the restaurant industry, is all taking advantage of these technologies. So everyone's asking that question of how do I get to take advantage of that? First of all, obviously, you've got the challenges of scarcity of talent, and folks, you might have a great team, but can they possibly know at any given time which technology is going to be best for the spin of the dollar and which one's going to really help the organization move forward? And along with that, as you're making those business decisions, do you have all the key elements of security involved, compliance, regulation? You need your business to move forward, but you need to do it in a safe and secure way. Obviously, we just recently heard of some news of something as simple as password governance leading to a very large data breach. So these are all things that need to be considered along the way. So today, there's a lot that our organization could do to help you out, both there within that store, but as we're today talking about back of house, really focusing on data governance. And so to give you a little bit of background, we recently participated in a conference, and in that conference was a great breakout session. And this was with one of the prominent names in the restaurant industry and AWS. And they were speaking on how they partnered together to do these amazing things. And as they were going through these, the implementation of this, I mean, we're talking about supply chain management, staffing decisions on a real-time basis, how to store hours based on both local and regional events that might be happening, marketing, interacting with the customers. And it all sounded amazing as they were just unpacking this and saying, here's all that we've been able to accomplish over the last year and how much it's transformed our business. And this is a very prominent name. Obviously it was very impressive, but we got into the Q&A session and the first question pops up of, that sounds amazing. Where's my starting point? How do I take advantage of this? Where to go? And the representative from AWS said, what we would do is you get you in front of one of our partners, someone that really knows our ecosystem and can speak to what your business challenges are and help to align those business challenges with the right platforms. So with all that said, a little bit more about what we do and what we're qualified for. In terms of certifications and partnerships, you can see AWS, Azure, Expert MSP, Google, Cloud Partner, any of these hyperscaler environments where not only are they going to have the best environment for storing and accessing your data, they're going to partner with just about anyone in the business that you could possibly want to work with. Along with that, they're going to be ahead of the technology curve. So as this technology is moving forward quickly, these folks are going to be at the helm of that. And all the other applications you're going to be working with are going to want to partner with these environments. We're here to help you with regulatory compliance. We have plenty of technology partners, but what it really comes down to are the people. We have the expertise and the knowledge to understand how to take your data and make the use of it. That is your currency right there. You need to have control of your data. You need to be able to use it in different facets as that technology in different organizations. I mean, we're going to see a lot of change here with AI and organizations that are popping up out of the woodwork that can do different things. You need to be able to decide on a real-time basis how you're going to put those things to use and whether or not you want to try them or not. And when you've got control of your data and it's stored correctly, you can take advantage of those tools in the appropriate way. So anyway, very high level on us, and I'm going to hand it back over to Mickey.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
And Mickey, I'm going to have to ask you to wrap up because we've got six more ready to take the mic.
I will. Give me 10 seconds, and I'll just close with letting everybody know, of course, that there's a lot of solid MSPs, ISPs out there. They offer similar products and pricing. We think what truly separates a provider really isn't their price or their product, it's the level of support. And at Cox Business, that's our commitment to consistent high-level support. So please reach out to Brad or myself with any questions that you might have. And thanks for having us.
All right. Thank you, Mickey and Brad from for our friends at Cox Business. I'm now pleased to bring to the mic Paul Emastoy is co-founder of Kitchen Armor. Paul, take it away.
Great. Hey, thanks, Robert, and thanks everyone for participating. Let me share my PowerPoint here. Okay, everybody see that? Yes. Okay, great. So I'm Paul Emastoy, co-founder of Kitchen Armor. And I spent my entire career in food service and food service technology, and I'm really excited to see this group come together. I think it'll be great for everyone, and there's a specific push, I think, towards kitchen-centric solutions, and we play a big role in that. So I'm excited to be here. Let's move on. So basically, Kitchen Armor designs and builds, manufactures stainless steel ruggedized touchscreens specifically designed for kitchens. We got into this industry primarily because I had a background in food service, and also we just wanted to help the industry a little bit as far as workflow in the kitchen and help our operators develop stronger speed of service and try to get all those kind of parameters in line. And one of the problems that we had almost immediately as we started in this industry is we were using plastic monitors like everybody else. And they started to deteriorate and disintegrate. And pretty soon what we found was we had partners that had pieces of plastic in their food. And as you can see, most of the technology around kitchen on the hardware side resides in the kitchen. So you're right above working areas. So anything that would happen on those screens affected food quality and affected food in general. And we had issues where we found glass and plastic in some of the products that the customers were serving. So we clearly had to change that. At Kitchen Armor, we had two key events that really shaped us. One of them was plastics and glass that we had to eliminate from the kitchen. And secondly was the problems that we were having with power and just the complexity of wiring in a kitchen that we just couldn't have anymore. So these were the kind of things that we would see in restaurants, as you're probably all familiar with. Just a lot of wires, a lot of cables, a lot of interconnects, and we just couldn't have that. Computers aren't really designed in nature to be in the kitchen unless they're specifically worked through, like on our products, for instance, they're designed to be operated in heat and things like that. So when these devices are disabled, theoretically it slows down the kitchen and makes them very hard to operate. So basically what we decided to do was to move into an environment where all of our products were powered by power over Ethernet. So it's a single cable, and we take this power that comes out of the back office, bring it to the front of the house. It's battery backed up, very easy to use, a single cable, and you enable that with a stainless steel ruggedized touchscreen, then you're in a situation where the devices that you're using to drive these fantastic software products actually robust, and they're designed to stay and work in the environment. PoE also provides us a fantastic ability to drop low power into environments you couldn't draw power. So for instance, if you had an AC power situation and all you had was AC power, you couldn't run a touchscreen under a hood, for instance. It has to be enabled, and the Ancel system needs to be able to shut off the power. It's very expensive to do that. But in a low power environment like PoE, we can put a screen basically where you need it and where the operators are going to be able to touch it very simply. So working with designers and working with restaurant folks on placement is really important to us. And at the end of the day, we end up manufacturing a lot of products that are PoE centric. We manufacture our own switches. We manufacture all of our Android devices. We also have a new PoE Windows-based product that is being introduced at the end of the summer for those kitchen-centric folks that are on Windows. We can power printers with PoE, POS stations, EMV devices, kiosks. We also have an initiative to power 50-inch displays for your media type screen, so you don't have to bring an electrician to do that. Lighting is the next big thing in PoE, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But basically, that is Kitchen Armor. So hopefully, Robert, I made up a little bit of time for you.
I appreciate it, Paul. That was great. I love the problem and solution, and looking forward to speaking more about this. As you know, we're going to have questions and feedback after all the presentations. Thanks, Paul.
Sure. Okay.
And now I'm pleased to pass the mic to Brian Wayne, who is Vice President of Customer Success at QSR Automations. Brian, welcome.
Thank you, Robert. I'm going to go ahead and share my deck here. All right. So thanks again for having me. I am Brian Wayne, the VP of Customer Success at QSR Automations. I've been with QSR for about 21 years now in a variety of different roles. I've had the privilege of working with several restaurant chains of all types and sizes just to improve their operations and guest experience. QSR Automations was founded in 1996. We started as a best-of-breed kitchen display solution provider. We actually started in quick service, which is probably where the name came from originally, but we quickly moved into table service restaurants as well. And then in recent years, we've expanded into front of house solutions as well, such as waitlist management, reservations, table management with our ConnectSmart platform. And you may have seen in the news recently that we've recently merged with Crunch Time to create a company that delivers solutions for the entire food life cycle at scale. So our vision at QSR Automations is to make service easier for everyone. And we really believe that the kitchen is the engine room of your restaurant. If you can get the kitchen right and operating efficiently, everything else in the restaurant becomes easier. And the basic idea with ConnectSmart Kitchen is to streamline those kitchen operations. I always say hot food out hot, cold food out cold. So maintain that food quality. I always tell people there's really 5 primary benefits of the ConnectSmart Kitchen solution. The first is speed of service and ticket time improvement. So with that, you get increased throughput through your kitchen. The second is that food quality goes way up. So by automating it all and letting you know when to cook, what you need to cook, the food quality inevitably will improve. The third is order accuracy and reduced waste. Those kind of go hand in hand. And order accuracy has become way more important with the rise of off-premise ordering. So you have to get that right, or there's no way to remake it easily like you could with dine-in ordering. The fourth is the data that the system produces. There's an incredible amount of data that the system churns out, and you can action it in real time. You can action it after the fact, but there's a lot of data that comes out of it. And the fifth one is training. So it's just an easy to adapt solution that just makes it easier to onboard new employees and kind of keep that chaos out of your kitchen. And then I'd also say one of the other kind of more recent benefits that we've seen with the ConnectSmart Kitchen solution is improved communication to your guests. Again, with the rise in off-premise ordering, things like order ready updates to your guests or more accurate quote times for takeout ordering have become more important. So how does ConnectSmart Kitchen actually work? Orders originate through the point of sale. We don't do point of sale at QSR, but we integrate to all the major point of sale providers. And this could be online ordering, kiosks, bring your own device, but basically the orders will flow through that point of sale integration into the ConnectSmart Kitchen platform. They then route to each station, only showing the cook what they need to see and when they need to see it. And the system uses cook times that you can program in for the items to pace out all of the items within a single order so that all the food is completed at the same time. And then at the expo station, the order's prepared and they would bump it off to expedite it out to the table or bag it for takeout. So a couple of case studies I wanted to share. The first, we've all seen the incredible comeback story that Chili's has been on, and we're proud to play a part in it. I'm going to play a quick video.
With Connect Smart Kitchen, the teams can look right up on the screen, see the line builds, and then it tells them exactly what to make and how to make it.
So with a brand the size of Chili's, they needed to ensure consistency across all their locations. And this meant that they needed a solution that was reliable, scalable, and could easily integrate with other solutions. So with the Connect Smart Kitchen solution, they ensure consistency with prep, timing, and service across all 1,600 of their restaurants. Chili's focuses on takeout with a dedicated takeout expo station, and they also leveraged our real-time data using our APIs and webhooks to provide accurate quote times to the guests. Also, they use beverage and bar stations as well, which not everyone thinks about when they're thinking about kitchen display. So they have a fully digital footprint even for their drink prep. Dave's Hot Chicken's another incredible brand that we have the pleasure of working with, and it's a quickly growing brand as well. I'm gonna play another video here.
Our off-premise sales are about 40%. QSR automation system gives us the order ready board, which allows our expo staff to be more efficient. The order ready board has the drivers and guests who place online orders to view the board without approaching the expo station.
Brian,
So
this is
Dave's-
fantastic, and I'm enjoying it. But I want to be sure to leave room for the other presenters, if you wouldn't mind wrapping up.
Sure thing. Yep. So Dave's needed a solution that would allow them to easily launch, and off-premise was a big focus for them. So the Connect Smart Kitchen solution allowed them to accurately quote takeout orders and then also display the status of the orders on that order ready board for picking up food. So in conclusion, we've been doing this for close to 30 years. We've got a worldwide footprint, and we're in 21 of the top 25 casual dining chains, not to mention quick service and fast casual. And in addition to our 80 plus point of sale partners, we also have partnerships with complementary solutions providers like Curbit, Flyby, Smart Bar, and Olo. So if you have any questions, I've left my contact here, and I appreciate your time today.
All right. Thanks so much, Brian. And now I'm going to pass the mic to Aaron Alexander, Solutions Engineer at Restaurant 365. Aaron, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thanks so much. This is my first RTN chair group, hopefully first of many. So super excited to be here. Today, we're actually going to talk about something very specific around back of house innovations. But we are going to start with a little high level overview of what Restaurant 365 is. So I will go ahead and jump in here. So first and foremost, if you're not familiar with Restaurant 365, we are an all-in-one back of house solution for restaurants, right? We're basically everything besides a POS and besides a bank. So you can get Restaurant 365 and run your entire accounting, right? So replacement for QuickBooks, Sage, NetSuite, those types of tools there. And inside of that tool, we have inventory, recipe management, scheduling, training as part of our workforce arm over here, even payroll, right? So everything all within one system. And you'll see there that that's all powered by intelligence. That doesn't mean that we're just smart people. That is actually an intelligence reporting tool, which we will talk a little bit about today as well. So the way that we are actually fueling all of this and making all of this work is by connecting with your other systems, the things that we are not, right? So we connect with right around 115, somewhere in there, POS systems today, right? So we're directly integrating to those POS systems to pull in sales tickets, labor punches, automating your daily journal entries into your accounting system. We're also pulling over the menu item detail, which is something we're actually going to dive into today when we talk about menu engineering, right? Menu costing, understanding what's actually making you money and being able to do so on a daily or weekly basis rather than quarterly or biannually or whatever we might be doing today. Also integrating with your vendors. We currently have over 200 food, beverage, linen, so on and so forth, vendors integrated into our system today. Again, this means completely automated AP, both for accounting and operations, all working from one system. So, as an ex-operator, ex-restaurant manager, we're kind of breaking down that wall here that's always been there between accounting and operations. And then last but not least, our banking, right? Connecting to your bank account so we can do all of those bank automations, bank reconciliations, and all of those pieces. Now, today, what we're going to actually talk about, we're going to kind of get away from just talking about Restaurant 365 for a minute. I do want to go through some menu engineering pieces, right? Now, we're going to talk a little bit about a user group event that we do multiple times a year. I do a full 45-minute presentation on this. So I'm going to give you like the super wrapped up version here. Menu engineering, right? What is it? A lot of you in the restaurant here already know what it is, but really how I kind of sum up menu engineering: calculations and data, understanding the calculations I need to pay attention to; menu categorization, which is important because menu engineering is often a comparative type of reporting. I want to see what my appetizers are doing, right, versus my entrees. Menu design and psychology, those are going hand in hand for the actionable plan, right? Because I can understand what's working, what's not, where I should be improving, but having that design psychology and actionable plan is what actually makes those things take effect and empower us to make more money. And then you can see that's a circle, right? This has got a little arrow at the end because we always start right back over and continue doing this. Now, here's a report in Restaurant 365 that can help you achieve this, right? Now, if you've ever done menu costing, menu engineering, getting to these numbers is a pain, right? That's why a lot of folks only do it once a year. Now, with how much cost change and everything's evolving in our world in the restaurants, we need to be able to do it more often. So having a report like our menu item analysis that will take our POS buttons that we have recipes linked directly to, that's going to give us real time, right? Every single day, we're going to have accurate margins, COGS percentages, how popular these items are. That's our sales percentage there. And then we even have this category over on the far right. Now, that category is placing these into an axis, right? An X and a Y axis here that tells us what we should focus on. So here's what that looks like, right? We've got an X axis and a Y axis of how popular an item is, and then what our margins and our profitabilities are. So if I can place my items into here and understand, hey, this item over here that's a puzzle, I sell it all the time, or excuse me, my margin is really high, but I never sell it, right? So that's where things like psychology and menu design come in, because we can start to push people to order those items that are already making us a lot of money. Workhorses, right? Popularity is already high, but my costs are low. I consider that a controllable. This is something that we can manage on our side. All we've got to do is figure out how to get our costs down. Alternative ingredients, smaller portion sizes, things of that sort. So being able to quickly, through a runnable report, even subscribable report that just comes out to your email, being able to see week over week, day over day, where our items fall in this world.
Aaron, this is fantastic. I'm going to ask you to make a closing statement so we can keep it moving for the other presenters.
No problem. So a couple of other reports to highlight in about 5 seconds here. Menu price analysis, which helps suggest pricing based on desired profit margins. So we've got a report that'll spit out those prices you should be using. Menu engineering, bubble charts, right? So again, business intelligence dashboards that we can utilize to multi-select and really dive into sections of our menu and start to compare those pieces. And then last but not least, our restaurant transformation tour. So that's what I'll sign off with. Join us one day. We do 4 of these a year. Our biggest event's coming up in San Diego in September. It's a 3-day event, tons of fun, tons of users, restaurant folks that just love to talk about what we can do to really innovate our back of house. So thanks again for having me today, and look forward to seeing you all in the future.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. Now I'm going to pass the mic to Tom Brown, who is Business Development Specialist at Rosnet. Tom, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Let me get this screen pulled up and we will get off and running. Okay, at this point, everything should be up there for you. So my name is Tom Brown. I'm part of the business development team here at Rosnet. Rosnet. There we go. Sorry, computer decided it was going to lag on me. Rosnet's an industry leader in the restaurant solution area for over 25 years. We've been around for a long time. And what Rosnet is a comprehensive back of house restaurant management platform that provides multi-unit operators with real-time control over food, labor, and data to optimize your operations, reduce your costs, and ultimately drive profitability. Now, where this starts is with our Power Center module. This is kind of our foundation module. Don't want to spend a lot of time here because we want to get to the back of house stuff. But what Power Center does is it connects to your POS, pulls in data such as sales data we could pull in to provide hundreds of intuitive reporting options designed for optimizing your operations. Also, visualize your restaurant business in real time with customizable widgets and dashboards, fully customizable for different levels, from restaurant manager all the way up to CEO and every user in between. Rosnet also has a mobile-friendly app that can assist in all kinds of things, from easy access to reporting, as well as different tasks throughout the restaurant, which we'll get into here in just a little bit. And then also easy to configure daily task lists. So when your managers are getting into Rosnet, this is a good roadmap to show them what reports to go run and what tasks they should be doing. Is it inventory day? We'll take them to the inventory module to start taking their counts, doing their daily line checks, viewing some key reporting, etc. There we go. Now, on the back of house side, food management is one of our many modules. What we can accomplish with our food management module is a mobile-friendly inventory. So the ability to walk around, take inventory on any mobile device, cell phone, tablet, etc., and then assist in controlling costs by analyzing your theoretical versus your actual usage. We've got integrated vendor invoicing and suggested ordering based off of forecasting and what you've gone through and what you're predicted to sell. We also have multiple food prep tools and reports, such as a prep list, a thaw pool, fryer drops, etc. And then one thing that really sets us apart is that we have a dedicated food management support team that builds and manages your recipes for you so you don't have to. You simply provide them with that data and they get busy working on it. And then maintaining that recipe database as LTOs come out, any kind of changes to any of the recipes, etc. The food management team is there to assist. Another thing that can help out on the back of house side is our checklist module. Checklist, also line checks. It's customizable lists. So you could create lists that can assist your managers with an opening checklist, unlock the doors, turn the lights on, make sure that your dining room is wiped down and clean, as well as a fully functioning line check module where you can configure different items, different temperatures, allow for temperature tracking. So when your managers are going around on the Rosnet app and performing their line check, they're entering their temperature and making sure that it's in that acceptable range. You can also designate items as critical. Cannot finish your line check until these items have been addressed. It also allows for photo and note attachment for any of those items. It's real-time data capture. So as you're going through on the app and doing this, it's updating so that multiple users from different areas can review, and it also provides an audit trail and reporting for all of those fantastic visits from the health department when they decide to just drop in and say hello.
All right, Tom, I'm going to ask you to wrap up, please.
You got it. So on top of all that, some of our extended offerings, labor management, forecasting, scheduling, employee-facing apps, an API to access your data or grant access to others, multilingual, and exports to be able to export your data out to your accounting and or payroll providers. And then some of the extras that we include: onboarding, an implementation team that will help you with getting onboarded and then help set up training, 24/7, 365 client support based here in Kansas City, go Chiefs, and a client relationship manager that will check in with you monthly, helping to set up any additional trainings, troubleshooting, and so much more. So thank you again. My name's Tom Brown. I appreciate your time and look forward to any questions or feedback here at the end.
All right, thanks so much, Tom. Going to pass the mic now to Jared Nielsen, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Synergy Suite. Jared, take it away.
All right. We'll take over the sharing here. And all right, so I am the CEO at Synergy Suite. I have been here for about 6 years, but I actually spent the first 5 years of my tenure as the CTO. So I'm very passionate about building software, and that's actually what I want to talk a little bit about today. Our approach to tackling software development and why it applies and why it matters so much to the end user. For those of you who don't know, Synergy Suite's a full back-of-house cloud-based platform to run your entire back-of-house off of. We do everything from inventory, purchasing, scheduling, reporting. But I want to take a very specific use case today and really key in on just one specific item and why, how it's implemented and how it's designed really, really matters. So I'm going to take purchasing. We've got an AI-powered purchasing tool here, and AI is living up to the hype. It is as big and as momentous as everybody is saying it is. However, there's a lot of friction involved with adoption. And so you've got to be able to take a really complex piece of software and just make it as easy to use as possible. And so if we take AI purchasing, if you compare it to the standard way of manual ordering, you can't do it right. I mean, even a really good order is never perfect, is never as good as it could be. We find with manual orders, there's always over ordering involved. People order way too much stuff. They have way too much float on hand. And at the same time, they're under ordering on those same orders. They're leaving out less frequently ordered items, ingredients that aren't as common. And so you get this weird dichotomy of an order that has too much and too little at the same time. You end up with this float, which creates waste, and it creates opportunities for theft and shrinkage. And so just getting the right amount is super important. Part level ordering, template ordering can help, but they're rigid, they're inflexible, they're never going to get it just right. And a human, as good as they can be, there's just too many variables. And if they do spend all the time to get as good of order as possible, well, then they're spending too much time on that. And a GM, a manager, they really should be focusing on the guest experience. Yes, ordering is super important because your food costs are going to be off if you don't do it right. But really the GM should be worried about that guest experience first and foremost and pushing their brand. So how we do this. So Synergy Suite integrates with everybody. We've got data coming from every source that we can get it from. This is actually a big reason why I'm a big fan of RTN. Open standards are so important that we can all play nice and share data between each other. But so we pull in data, historical sales, weather, influence of franchisees on each other, how well a brand is trending, different influences inside of a region. We find things like if the first Friday of the month, or if the first day of the month is a Friday, sales will go up in certain brands, just depending on the demographic. And so we take these inputs, delivery schedules, LTOs, recipes, live inventory, pending deliveries. So we know when a food truck arrives because we have tight integrations with all the food suppliers. We've got live pricing, so we know exactly what things cost today when they're placing and when they'll arrive and when they'll show up. So we take all of this information and behind the scene, build out a really detailed or really accurate sales forecast. And on top of that, we'll build out a super detailed product mix forecast. So it's not just these are the dollars that are going to come in on this particular day, but these are the products that you're going to sell. And these are the time of day of when you're going to sell them. So knowing exactly what's sold when, what's made up of that item, what are the components in there, and then create that ideal order. So we actually build out and say, between these two dates, when your two trucks show up, this is exactly what you're going to sell, or as close to it as we can get. And so this is what you need to order. Build in an appropriate buffer in case there are truck delays, because we can see how accurate PFG, Cisco, and how often they hit their exact delivery times. Build in that correct amount of buffer and say, here is your exact order. This is what you need. And by the way, if you're doing this, you've got the data then to do prep and production as well. So you know when to start thawing things, when to start chopping vegetables, so that those prep items and those items are produced for when you're going to sell them. What this looks like. So again, the whole point of this is all of this data, really complex technology behind the scene, and we just want to make it as frictionless and as easy to adopt. So in Synergy Suite, when you go in to place an order, it's filled out for you. The GM sits down in the system that they're used to using, and already in there is exactly what they need to order for that specific period of time. We want to make it frictionless, but we also want to build trust in the system. So we'll tell them, here's exactly what you have right now. Here's what you use per day. You can modify this if you believe there's something that was missed. If you know a truck is going to be late or some big catering order is going to come in. And so the idea is take something that's really, really complicated and make it as easy to use for a general manager as possible. These are people that are passionate about running restaurants. They're not necessarily technologists, but if they don't have the technology and they don't have the tools, they won't be able to drive that profitability that's so important, and they will be left behind. And so, again, just one example. Real world examples of these. Find these orders are super accurate. 97% accurate to the case level, and we reduce float, which reduces waste, and save a significant amount of time on placing those orders.
Jared, this has been fantastic. Thank you. I'm gonna move it along to our concluding presentation, and then we're eager to have some Q&A and feedback from attendees. Kumail Hossain is the founder and CEO of Xenia. Kumail, the mic is yours.
Hey, everybody. Hope you guys see my screen. Firstly, Tammy and team, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity here. I'm Kumail. I started Xenia in 2021, really with a vision to help empower frontline workers in the restaurant. To give you guys some background on us, we are an operations execution platform. We really help operators better govern what happens in the restaurant daily through things like checklists, procedures, task management, also with giving field teams and corporate teams tools to better analyze performance. So a lot of teams use our platform for conducting audits, field visits, and even sharing information fast through integrations to their HRIS system. Today, I actually wanted to go into a specific demo around a new product launch that we've had, which is our co-pilot for restaurant operations. So we're really solving the problem where we see operations team are spending a lot of time analyzing data, looking at manual reports in Excel, specifically around work that's getting done in the restaurant or their audit data, looking for opportunities to improve. So a lot of the time we find that, a dashboard is nice, but we wanted to go a step further in the age of AI to show you guys some examples of how our customers are actually using our platform. Just one moment here. So here is a report of, a brand standards audit that you may be doing across your locations. We produce customizable widgets where, you can see your current score, how this is performing against the organization average, and really be able to look at any location and how they're performing versus their most recent audit. So we can analyze it by food safety, by back of house cleanliness and maintenance, any specific area that you may be looking to evaluate in your audit. We plot this in valuable data points so you can understand if there's even any improvement, and even being able to understand trends on what items maybe are flagging or failing at the restaurant level. Our Copilot can actually help you chat with your data and better understand sort of trends that are coming out of these audits that your field teams are doing. So if you're doing any sort of visit or even analyzing opening, closing checklists, this is a good tool to kind of dive deeper. So for example, if we wanted to understand, what common items are failing at the restaurant level, we can actually ask it simple questions and it can produce reports out the box for us. So in this case, I'm looking at, majority of issues coming across restaurants are food safety related, and it's going to give me a set of recommended action items. So one action may be to create a new food safety procedure that's getting done daily by restaurants. So you can actually be able to directly action on that by creating a template with AI. So our AI builder actually allows you to take any prompt that you have or even upload a paper document and build a procedure instantly that can be used at the restaurant level. When I do this, it's actually going to study my existing data in my account and build a checklist that we can use. While that builds out here, you've actually also got the ability to go deeper. So if you wanted to build a report to understand which specific locations maybe are struggling with food safety, you can actually ask it to create you a report simply by pasting in text. And it'll give you a report in a table format that you can download to PDF and share with your team. Which is a pretty nice feature to have, so you don't have to wrangle through dashboards or ask someone else. And while we were doing that, it also created a new checklist for us that our teams can now execute on, and we can tweak this and be able to then assign it down to all of our restaurant locations. So really turning your existing data into action a lot faster than it was previously done, and you don't need administrative teams to spend a bunch of time building checklists anymore. The other thing that I'll end with is that, we're doing this across some major operators, really looking to better analyze their data and switching off of legacy task management and checklist platforms. If you'd like to learn more about us, you can contact me directly or book a demo with our team, and it'd be our pleasure to show you more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kumail. And thank you to all the presenters. This has been really exciting. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I want to get to our roundtable Q&A. But I love the variety and the pace. Thank you all so much for keeping that pace up. We've got a big crowd, and I'm eager to have to get some feedback from our attendees. You can raise your hand, or you can just turn on your mic and ask away. We've got about 10 minutes.
Hey, Robert, if I could ask, I'm particularly interested in, for the solution providers, if you can maybe speak to the what you're experiencing in terms of the state of integration with your solution and others. It's great that you've provided us a very comprehensive overview of the value of your solution, but how about as it relates to using your solution in conjunction with others? What are you seeing in terms of the state of integration and kind of where it's been and kind of where it's going?
It's a great question, Tim. Anybody want to take that?
Yeah, I'll say it's definitely a mixed bag. There are players in the ecosystem that are really easy to work with and adopt open APIs, and there are others that are really closed. And I know RTN is focused heavily on that, and I think the people joining this call are probably more on the side of integration and playing nicely. But we find there are many vendors and suppliers that are great, and others that just decide not to play nicely with others.
Tim, this is Paul. We do a lot of integration, a lot of different work with different kinds of software vendors. We're finding it to be easier and easier, adoption towards open APIs, and a lot of that is happening, I think, within the organization, within the industry. So I see it getting better and better over time.
Sounds
Yeah, I'll jump
good.
in there as well. Just to as we were speaking about, is what's important in your decision-making process is the ability to have that flexibility to try different applications, try different platforms, but still have that base unit of here's where my network and my infrastructure lives. And so again, kind of talking back to capabilities there is getting all your data structured in a platform that will be able to integrate with anyone and everyone. And you can utilize as you need to, and you can pull back as you need to. So, succeed quickly or fail quickly, right? As these different applications are part of the equation, and along the way, making sure you're securing your data.
Maybe to ask the question in a slightly different way, are there particular drivers that motivate other solution providers to embrace the desire, the need for integration? Are there any things, specific pain points that you could push on to motivate greater integration throughout the vendor community?
This is Ward Olgreen with RedOnion.ai. We do guest behavior analytics. We've simply seen that the smarter your technology is, the more open they are to creating the integration. Because if you're solving problems, truly solving problems for the shared mutual client, and both of y'all walk away healthier, and then if you can, generate a unique data point that only happens when two different vendors or multiple vendors are working with each other, and that brings greater value to the end result mutual client, then pretty much everybody plays nicely in the sandbox. But I think the overall problem is everybody's starting to understand the value of data, and so more and more vendors are wanting to try to charge for having access to the data, which is really going to muck it up for the end user, because they're going to end up paying for it from a variety of vendors.
That's an interesting point, Ward. You either consider getting on the API bandwagon and making your system more open and available, or you leave the restaurant with no choice but to just work around you at the data level.
And that's the sad part, because some of the restaurateurs are finding out post agreement signing that that the vendor's going to have to pay to have access to the data, and so we're getting away from being focused on solving problems for the restaurants, and we're starting to focus on generating revenue for the giant companies.
Thank you.
Well, Tim, I appreciate your question. Ward, I appreciate your answer. I want to open it up to we have a few more minutes. I was looking through the chat to see if anybody had posed a question. If I overlooked a question you put in chat, please feel free to just turn on your mic and ask away.
Hey, I have one actually.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to, I think, go back to the standards conversation, which is the core of what RTN does. I'm working on assumption, but I assume all the products you're speaking to have already all written to the primary standards of the RTN framework, surely from an integration and access standpoint. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I can't speak for the others on the call, but I can say we were part of the RTN work group in defining those. And obviously we consume a lot of data, we produce a lot and export a lot. So big believers in open standards and open access. Ward, you called it out. Anytime somebody tries to gatekeep or to charge, they're just driving that cost down to the restaurant, down to the actual consumer. The vendors might end up paying it in the interim, but that cost is borne by the restaurant. So having it open, having it available, and adhering to those standards, I find super important. And absolutely, those standards are fantastic for the industry.
Just one thing I wanted to add there, Zarek. I think in terms of RTN standards, I think it's particularly important around public-facing APIs, as many organizations do have internal IT teams that can work with these. So we've worked on our public-facing API to comply with a lot of the standards, which if you're a software company, they basically align with all major compliance requirements around ISO, GDPR, SOC 2. So it's pretty good stuff there. I would just say it would be great if everybody had publicly documented open APIs. I think it would make it easier for the customers. AI also enables internal IT teams to build integrations on their own. So there is costs associated with the development. A lot of the time, public-facing APIs may be maybe can help both the vendor and the customer be able to do things on their own.
And my second part question is around the API updates. Like everyone else, we're consuming data from pick your source globally, right? Probably 75, 80 sources around APIs and things of that nature. The frequency of the updates and the timing of those updates have started to become problematic for us a bit, especially in some of the back of house area of the business, right? There's always someone that tries to do, and they're using the calendar. So there's always one about Thanksgiving or Christmas, which is a blackout period for most in the restaurant space. What kind of logic do you guys apply to sort of your API, your update timing, right? And how that impacts the operations of the restaurant? Is that considered as you guys look at your sprints and your releases?
For us, it has to be, just because API is changing and causing breaking changes is just not, it also break our SLAs with customers. So when we do product management and plan new sort of feature development, making sure that APIs have full test coverage around them is really important, meaning that, you know, the APIs that you are unveiling to your customers are fully tested. So even if, you know, you launch something new and an API updated and it happened to break, you caught it before it reached the customer. That's what I could say on our side, at least.
You can also version the APIs, which helps dramatically. You release a new version of it, people can adopt it, integrate with it, and still use the old one while adopting the new.
Yeah, I know from our standpoint, we've always maintained backward compatibility. So those old APIs are always available. There's never any disruption to the end user, the customer. And, you know, if it takes 5, 6, 7 years for someone to transition, that's fine. But there's no reason to deprecate an older API and cause any disruption around holidays or any other time. I mean, you just you know, keep it going indefinitely. There's not really much incremental cost to doing that.
Yeah,
So, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to second the backwards compatibility as well. One of the other things that we do too is we ensure kind of around those critical no-fly time periods, we avoid doing maintenance, you know, before Mother's Day, before Valentine's Day, before, you know, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and the time periods where, you know, it's most critical to not have any issues in your restaurant. So it's important too.
All right. Thank you, guys. We're increasingly seeing more and more folks try to force that issue because they don't want to support more than one version of an API. So they give you a cutoff date, but it's 30 days or something, which is not quite reasonable. So I really like the backward compatibility answer, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I think a general industry standard would be 3 to 5 years.
I wish, but that's not the reality I'm living at the moment.
At scale, you can't expect a large customer to be able to switch in 30 days. It's unrealistic.
Yeah, Mitesh, you're right. It should be measured in years, and I'd say 3 to 5 is sometimes on the light end for an API, something that's so critical to an integration.
I have one issue in court around that, what we're talking about. So yes, I can tell you sometimes people just aren't forward thinking. So thanks, guys.
I dropped into the chat the vendor self-assessment for the Open API framework and where you're at on your journey. So you can complete that. Any of the vendors that are here and you're thinking like, man, we should take a look at this and see exactly how far along you are, because you may actually be quite compliant and you just haven't done that exercise. Grab that link. It's the last link that I just dropped in there, and you can complete that information. We'll leave, this link is always open, but knowing there's been a lot of interest and questions around it, we'll give you guys, you know, a week or so to go through and look at this data. I'll pull everything, and then Robert and I will work on publishing an update to let folks know where our members are at with respect to their journey of Open API, right? And honesty is the best policy, right? You may be on the journey and not done here and not done there, and that is okay. We all recognize that it is a journey and a marathon in some cases and not a sprint, but showing your, you know, kind of unveiling and revealing some of this really helps to give context as to where you're at and how committed you are, which is great. I want to just quickly mention before we wrap up, if you're a restaurant operator and you have not yet registered for MarTech Executive Summit, I'm dropping a complimentary registration link into the chat here for restaurant operators. We're going to be in October PGA National down in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. More of this will be going on there. We'll really be chatting with the industry and our peers and colleagues about business strategy, RTN standards, and more. So if you haven't registered yet, go ahead and grab that. To our 7 presenters today, thank you. You guys were brave and got in the hot seat and answered some really great questions. Really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who joined and asked questions and participated. Love it. More of this to come from RTN. Thank you for your participation and your membership. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.